Welcome to the JM Podcast.
My name is Sevan Mardirossian, and welcome to the JM Podcast, where we talk business, financial education, entrepreneurship, and just building stronger futures. After 20 years as a cardiac specialist, I've learned how much preparation matters. Today, I help families prepare financially for what matters the most. In this episode, we're joined by Sevan Mardirossian. Sevan, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Jack.
For those who don't know you too well, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Prior to the finance industry, I was in the entertainment industry. So I was in post-production as an assistant film editor and editor working on various different TV shows and feature films.
Nice. Any projects we would have seen on the big screen?
I worked on America's Got Talent for about 3 years, and then shortly after that, I was on the Disney Plus show Hawkeye, which was done at Marvel Studios on the Disney lot.
Wow, amazing. Me and my son watched that show. I really liked it a lot. Yeah. What made you do the shift from the entertainment industry to the financial industry?
Well, COVID unfortunately caused 90% or over 90% of our entertainment industry to shut down. We had a bunch of directors, producers, and assistant film editors such as myself, pretty much the whole industry, to be out of work. So that's what caused me to go into looking into other opportunities while we were in quarantine, and I got myself educated in finance and got myself onto a platform that provided the education and a platform to help others financially.
Amazing. Yeah, man, COVID was rough for all of us. Even in the hospital industry, it was tough. Felt like a war zone for a little bit of time. Yeah.
I bet, yeah.
Yeah. What do you feel that's harder, the finance industry or the entertainment industry?
I would say both, but finance industry might be a little bit harder because you're dealing with people's finances, which is more serious than putting a show or a feature film onto the big screen for people to enjoy.
Makes sense, right? Makes sense. Do you feel that you had some skills that transferred from the entertainment industry to the finance industry that kind of gave you an edge?
Well, pretty much from the entertainment industry, when I would be looking at takes, I would have to pay attention to nonverbal communication such as body language and tonality of voice. That helped me in terms of when I'm trying to help out a family or individual in business to figure out if they're really feeling comfortable with the information I'm giving them to help them so that they can make a decision. And then basically from there, I'm able to help them out in the right way possible in terms of comfort level.
Do you feel like a lot of families are making financial mistakes in these day and times?
Unfortunately, yes, because unfortunately we live in a country that people focus on spending rather than savings.
Yeah, definitely. It's a consumer society nowadays, especially in today's market where advertisements are being shown in your face, on your phone, on Facebook, Instagram, and social media has become the norm for everybody. No more turning on the television, everybody's scrolling through their phones constantly. Yeah. I feel like everybody's so consumed by the phone and consumed by the short-term entertainment that the attention span of people have become so short,
What causes to happen while being consumed like that is you often end up being advertised, like you said, on products, and people end up buying products. Eventually, they're not going to need it or they hoard it. Unfortunately, the emphasis is not put on savings and where to save their money. That's where financial education comes into place, because once you look at a financial product and study it, then you'll understand how it's evolved to becoming something more than what it actually is stating for it to be.
Definitely. I mean, when they explained this to me and I saw the numbers and everything, I'm like, man, why isn't everybody doing this? And then I had referred a couple clients, and then, my business partner, we said, why don't you just get into the industry? You did so many referrals already, so that's kind of really what propelled me to get into this financial life industry. And then, we went to some of these Vegas conventions and stuff and saw how many people were thriving in an industry when the rest of the economy was kind of on a slow pace. And I was really blown away by the whole experience. And I felt like so many more people need to be educated about this. And, that's really why I started this podcast as well, to kind of educate people. And it's really such an amazing industry. Do you feel like you've had some fun moments in this financial industry that doesn't feel like it's so serious of an industry?
There's moments when I have sat down with business partners and we didn't think the client was going to get the policy. They were so stiff and they were so, skeptical about it. But at the end of the day, they were like, you know what, I want this policy. And we wrote the policy and then they left. And my business partner and I are looking at each other and we're high-fiving each other like, oh my God, we helped this person. We didn't think this was going to happen. So sometimes things of that sort happen.
I feel like a lot of people are, have this, like you said, skepticism on these policies because there's no transparency, right? But, in actuality, I feel like we're trying to show them that we really want to help them and not just trying to sell them a policy.
It's not about selling, it's about servicing. When someone comes in, we have that heart-to-heart conversation with that individual to figure out where they want to go. And then based upon that, we draw up a plan, and we don't only sell to them, we teach them how to buy. That way they come into it being more educated and they make a comfortable decision. That way they're walking out being more informed and being comfortable with the decision they made.
Are there any cool stories that you've had where like, man, we protected this person? It doesn't even have to be yours, just in the financial industry where you felt like they got coverage and it was such a life-saving moment for them.
I had a client that came in, and I'm not going to give any names, but he is an acting coach and he has coached many different high-profile actors and actresses in the entertainment industry. And unfortunately, he could not be covered anywhere, which was sad. And he had a condition. However, we were able to help them. We found a company out of the 100 plus, financial institutions and companies that we have that offer protection and insurances that was able to cover him. Soon as we got him approved, it was a really good moment because the very person who couldn't get help anywhere else came to us, actually got the help, and it was a moment where, we kind of teared up, my business partner and I, because we truly impacted that person in a positive way for their life. And the look on someone's eyes when they're thankful to you once you've helped them is priceless. I can't explain that. It felt so great to be able to offer something of that sort to that person, especially someone who's helped others. Now to be able to offer that to the very person.
Definitely. So that's a really interesting point you brought up. So if you're not being able to find coverage with one company, you're working with multiple different carriers to find the coverage. You mentioned something about 100 different carriers. Is that really true? It's 100
It's absolutely true. Most of the time people go to financial advisors or institutions, they are attached only to that company. With us, on our platform, we have over 100 plus strategic alliances, which means that the client comes first. We're not tied to any company, so that means that basically when they come to us, we can customize a unique package for that individual, family, or business to basically take care of their financial challenge for whatever it is, whether it's insurance, investments, retirement, and the client comes out happier because they get the product they wanted at the price point they wanted. These companies come out happier because they gained a new client. And us as financial professionals being the middlemen, tying both of them together, we get paid royally to help them out.
I feel like a lot of families are kind of confused about what life insurance is. Is it a scam? Is it not a scam? Or, what do you feel like people are missing,
Well, like an iPhone, right? The cell phone industry basically progressed past the Nokia flip phones into becoming what it is with an iPhone and Samsung. Much like that, the life insurance product evolved. So it's beyond the basic understanding of what it is.
So can you explain to me a little bit about the difference between a cash value policy and maybe like a term policy for our viewers who maybe don't understand in the simplest way you can?
So term policies do not have cash value. Let's start there. They're just term. They protect you for a period of time, whether it's 10 years or 30 years or 25 or 20, whatever. Cash value life insurance has a savings account component in the policy. So part of your payment goes to pay down the cost of insurance. The other part goes into the cash savings aspect of it, where it accumulates throughout the years.
What questions would you ask somebody like me to determine which policy would best fit me?
What company is it going to be with? Because every company offers different products. What benefits or riders does that company offer? How much is that going to cost? What is the credibility of that life insurance company as far as how long they've been around? So on and so forth. And as far as, if they're getting a cash value life insurance, how is the policy going to be structured? How is the agent structuring it so that it could get them to their financial goals that they're looking for?
Can you elaborate a little bit more about some of these products that can help individuals? Let's just say they don't want life insurance policy.
Sure.
Or they're already covered with a life insurance policy.
We got an arsenal of about 100 plus strategic alliances to be able to offer that to individuals. Well, life insurance being one of them, retirement products, investments, you name it, and we have all the proper financial advisory, we have all the proper financial professionals, we have the team to be able to facilitate that. So we're like a one-stop shop to be able to take care of someone's finances. Think of it, if you will, like a financial hospital, right? Mm-hmm. Someone comes into the hospital, right? They have their doctor or whomever that referred them to the hospital for a treatment. Well, there's different divisions in the hospital. We have different divisions in our financial firm. Whatever it is, as far as a financial challenge, they'll come to us. We do a pre-op with the financial needs analysis first. And then from there, we determine which direction we're going to help them out in. We financially educate them so they're not just being sold to, we're servicing them. Mm-hmm. We're teaching them how to buy. And there you go. They come out more informed, in a better position than they were when they walked in.
That's amazing. It's really great. So I feel like a lot of people are graduating right now, whether it's high school or, people are deciding if they're going to go to college. And, for some people, this whole, industry of let me go to college, get my degree, come out and working is not really working in this economy. Do you feel like there's a particular type of individual that would really fit the financial industry that we're kind of growing in?
There's nothing wrong with going to college, nothing wrong with getting a degree. Let's make that clear from the get-go. It just depends on where a person wants to end up in life. It depends on what goals and dreams they have. Obviously, the appetite of your goals and dreams are going to determine the road you should take. If you go to college, you got to measure, is that going to get you to your goals and dreams? Sometimes it's not enough. In that case, for what we do in the financial industry, we have a platform that actually can get people to their goals and dreams. As far as the type of individuals that will fit our industry, all types. Why? Because our platform, we have a proven system. So anybody over the age of 18 can come on in. They basically follow the proven system. And from there, they're going to get the financial education, the mindset and skill set development to be able to do what it is that we do. And in our platform, we have multiple ways that a person can make income that'll help them to achieve and get to their goals and dreams way quicker. However, if they want to go to college, they still can while they're doing this opportunity. Really depends on the appetite, really depends on where they want to end up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
From what I'm hearing is like you need a little bit of motivation, a little bit of coachability, but it's not strictly for people who are, just looking to graduate or post-graduation. It can be anybody, right? From different type of industries and, use the skills like you did or like I did to kind of convert into both situations, I feel like.
Absolutely. I mean, when we were shut down in COVID and I was transitioning from the entertainment industry to the finance industry, those skills I mentioned before, that's what I brought into the finance industry. However, when I started, it's really about getting to work, not being lazy, being coachable because you're learning something new and putting your head down and just soaking in the information. And that's it, really about coachability, following the proven system, not being lazy, and you can achieve it.
So let's say somebody is watching this podcast and is kind of interested into kind of maybe dabbling into this financial industry or even just getting a little bit more information.
Yeah.
What can they do to maybe connect with you or connect with us?
They can scan the QR code that's on the screen or in the description down below. That'll take you to an intake form. In the intake form, you're going to fill out, your information. That'll come straight to us. And then from there, we can assist you and help you in whatever you want to do. It's not a problem at all.
Nice.
Yeah.
I still feel like a lot of people avoid all of this life coverage and, financial education because A, it sounds overwhelming, or B, it just looks scary to them, and C, it's like they just don't want to deal with it.
Well, the problem is that most of the most important things in life are boring. So they don't take the time to actually learn about it or have someone explain it to them in detail. But the most boring things in life are oftentimes the most important, like I mentioned. So it is important to sit down and at least get bored for a little bit, just so that basically you could change your future.
Definitely. I really feel like in today's, educational system, financial education and money management should really be taught to these young kids, because we learned it so late, and when we try to teach it to our kids, and we come from parents that came from a different country, so we're first generation born American, Armenians here. And we really took us some time to understand this whole financial world and how to save the money, how to be prepared.
Yep.
Because, our parents didn't know. Our parents told us the same thing. Go to school, get a job, come out, make a little bit of money.
Yeah.
But we did all that, and we realized that really that wasn't enough,
Financial education is a definite necessity, and it's unfortunate they don't teach that in school. However, we can't blame our parents either, because they came from countries that, were rough, and they knew what they knew. They don't know what they don't know, just like how we didn't know what we know. Now that we know, it's our responsibility to hand it down to our kids.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely feel that. Not only to hand it down to our kids, but just to hand it out to everybody that we can possibly touch.
Absolutely.
Hence the podcast and hence us getting into financial industry. Honestly, when I started helping my first family and I left their home, and just to walk away from that experience and to know that, we really made a positive outlook on this person's family, even though they might not realize it just yet, it might kick in later down the line. But for us to know that feeling, it really took me back to my hospital work and, helping somebody coming out of an open heart surgery and, giving them a new lease on life, assisting the doctors, change a valve, or, recreating their, heart structure to really give them more opportunity and more life. And, the gratitude that that patient gives, the doctors or the whole cardiac team or just the whole team in the hospital in general, the gratitude that really kind of spills off of their face is really why I love doing what I do in the medical industry and now in the financial industry. And I really feel that, the knowledge I've gained from, your teachings and, our upline's teachings, really helped us kind of mold the way that we need to be. I know you got into the financial industry coming from the entertainment industry, but what is like one thing that you feel like your upline or your teacher taught you in this financial industry that really made a difference for you?
A lot of things. I can't pinpoint it down to one, but a lot of things. I mean,
just give us an example then.
Well, one quote that I heard in our office, one of our business partners said is, failure is actually success in disguise. When you truly fail is when you quit something. But if you're failing and you're still going forward and moving forward, you're eventually going to succeed. That failure is a stepping stone to basically, learn.
So what do you feel separates the serious agent from the one who's quitting?
How strong they keep their reasons on why they're doing anything they're doing in life. For instance, for an agent who is not taking, an opportunity seriously versus an agent or a professional who is doing it for their family, the agent or professional that has like children and a spouse and a house has a lot more to lose than the agent who is just kind of looking at it like, oh, it's just another opportunity, So their reasons why is going to be a lot stronger than someone who might have the same situation, but it's the mindset of, oh, this is just another opportunity, might or might not lead me somewhere,
What does the business teach you about people? Like, what do you feel like you've learned by helping so many people?
What it has taught me is the lack of financial education and fundamentals people have to be able to live their lives and better their lives financially, and how unprepared individuals are. And it's sad, I'm fortunate enough to be in this platform and have a great team to be able to offer that financial fundamentals and help individuals, families, and businesses be more prepared so that they basically can tackle the finances and financial trajectory of their life for it to be better.
Do you have any advice for any beginners who are maybe trying to want to join this financial industry?
Just have an open mind. Don't judge the opportunities of the financial industry very quickly. Yes, it might sound boring in the beginning, but have that interest or want to learn the boring stuff, because that's what's going to change your life eventually. And in terms of having an open mind and all of that, beyond that, there is no get rich quick opportunity. You have to put the work. But it depends on where you put the work. Put it in the platforms that can actually give you the different types of incomes, instead of putting the work and not having something to show for yourself. The platform is what really matters. So
Definitely.
Where you put your effort and the work, that's where it matters.
Definitely. I mean, I remember when I got started and I was like a little bit overwhelmed with everything that I needed to learn.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you, as soon as I passed that test,
Yeah.
I was so excited.
Yeah.
I got my license. I felt like a new person. I'm so excited for this industry.
Mm-hmm.
And again, these Vegas conventions that we go to is really motivational and inspirational to see so many people start from nothing and all of a sudden become so successful, because A, they followed the system, and B, they just stayed motivated. They stayed inspired, motivated, and they really had a hunger for life that a lot of people, I feel like, are missing nowadays.
And another advice I'll give is don't try to impress. That's certainly not what we're doing with this podcast. We're not trying to impress anyone, because every other person online is trying to impress. It's not about that. It's about inspiring people and educating them. Once they have the education and the inspiration, a lot of great things can happen. They can put the step forward to help themselves to change their life around.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, we have an annual convention every year that we go to on our platform. You see ordinary people do and achieve extraordinary things, which for anyone starting off, they don't have to be overwhelmed or be too scared in terms of an opportunity, because if an ordinary person just like them, without the financial education or the experience, came into this platform and achieved extraordinary things, they can also do it if they follow the system and stay coachable and not be lazy.
Definitely. I really felt like our team was so strong, the office that we belong to, and I was so overwhelmed by stuff, but the office really taught me that, it's a step-by-step process, one foot in front of the other, and you have so many different knowledgeable teammates that are there to help you and learn, step by step on what it is to do.
The biggest thing is that you're not on your own. There's a lot of leverage. That's the thing that people miss, is that sometimes they want to tackle everything on their own, which is great. That means you're a responsible person, but people have to learn the strength in leveraging if that's available to you. Leverage and support in what you're trying to accomplish is super important.
What do you feel like is the one book or the one podcast that really changed your perspective on life itself?
Well, in terms of life, personally, for me, it's the Bible. In terms of finances, to be honest, the entire series of the Rich Dad Poor Dad book, written by Robert Kiyosaki. A lot of people stop at Rich Dad Poor Dad, the first book, but he has over 20 different books on that in that series. And during COVID, I went through all of them. And that, at least in terms of mindset and my perspective, it changed my whole life on how I look on finances and money and so on and so forth.
Yeah, definitely. I've read the whole series as well,
There
like
you go.
2 times, I feel like. And yeah, it's definitely been a great book, definitely been like something to help shape the future, yeah, for sure.
And in terms of podcasts, there is many different ones that I listen to, so I can't pinpoint just one, because I get a overall balanced knowledge from many different podcasts. But in terms of books, that's what I could say.
Gotcha. What's one thing every family should know about money? If you just had to sum it up to one basic thing.
Don't be ignorant on money and don't be closed-minded. Don't think that you know it all in terms of your finances and everything. Be open, because there's other concepts, other perspectives, strategies that will blow your mind and switch your perspective.
Definitely.
I thought I knew, how to save, where to save my money and all of that stuff. But as soon as I listened to all these podcasts, read all these books, beyond the Robert Kiyosaki books, it changed my perspective on money and completely changed my life.
Well, again, if you'd like to learn more about protecting your family, improving your financial foundation, or even joining our team, like Sevan said, scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the bio, and somebody will reach out to you and we'll definitely get going.
And looking forward to helping you out if you do so.
With that being said, thank you for joining us on the JM podcast. A special thank you to our guest Sevan for sharing his stories and insight. Remember, success is rarely built overnight. Small actions consistently over time can create extraordinary results. We'll see you next time on the JM podcast.